every so often when we're in class, we set aside our math workbook and I have you take out a math textbook. Now, you don't have this at home. This is at school. I did not ask you to take this home. This is the first time you're using it, so it's a pretty heavy book for you to take home to use one time, maybe twice. I have copied the pages that I want you to work on and sent that in the attachment where I send all of your work. So you already have these pages. Today we're going to be talking about temperature again, and we're going to try to remember what some of the benchmarks are. And by benchmarks, I mean the temperatures that mean something to us. So, can you remember what temperature is freezing? When does water freeze? Emmett? Good. 0 degrees Celsius is freezing. That's when if I had water, it would start to turn into ice. That's why actually if it is raining out and it gets to 0 degrees, that's called freezing rain because it's coming down and it's still water sort of, but when it hits the ground it starts to freeze, and that's a very dangerous thing for driving. So it's actually better for it to be like -5 degrees Celsius and have snow than right at 0 where it's sort of in the middle. Okay, freezing is 0 degrees Celsius. What is boiling? Melina. Very good, 100 degrees Celsius. So we have freezing is 0, boiling is 100, okay? What is a comfortable temperature for inside? What do we usually set our thermostats, the thing in our house or our classroom, to control the temperature? What temperature feels good in Celsius? Okay, Lemuel. Excellent. About 20 degrees Celsius is what you want a room to feel like. Now, we talked about how 0 degrees is freezing, but I mentioned very briefly about how numbers can go lower than that. You can have -5 degrees, -10, -20. You've heard us talk about weather like that. You've heard in the wintertime, you ask questions like, how cold does it have to be outside before we're not allowed to go outside for recess? And we have rules that use the temperature to help us know if it's safe for you to go outside for recess. Today, it would be great. Go outside. It's beautiful, I think. It's beautiful when I'm taping this. So you can have minus degrees. Everything in the minuses in Celsius is freezing. It's cold. So here's what it might look like. -5 degrees Celsius. This is what it would look like, right? So that's how you write it. You just put that little minus sign in front of it. And minus means below 0, below freezing. The bigger the number, that's the minus, the colder it is. So if it was -10 degrees Celsius, that's a cold winter day. It's not going to be something we would keep you inside from recess for, but it's cold. -25 degrees Celsius, that's very cold. And then you get into things like -40 degrees Celsius. Those are temperatures we hear about in parts of northern Canada where it's very, very cold. And you might have heard of a wind chill. A wind chill just means the temperature is already -20, but the wind is making it feel even colder. It feels like -25. So that's what a wind chill is. In your work today, you're going to need to remember the different benchmarks. Things like 0 is freezing, 20 is a nice day, 100 is boiling, to figure out what temperatures certain things might be. So you're going to be using some of your estimating skills today in your work. I'm going to show what you're doing in your textbook now, which you don't have at home, so don't worry, you don't have a textbook. It's in the attachment I sent you. But let's see what work that's going to be. In today's work, you're actually going to do your work on Google Classroom. So if you go to Google Classroom, there's going to be a spot for you to put your answers to these things. Now, making a degree mark, that little circle, that's sort of a tricky thing to do. So today, when you are writing it, you can leave out the little circle and just do a C. I'll understand what you mean by that. Okay, so you're going to do number 1 where you write each temperature. Pay attention, okay, to what letters they are, and pay attention too to what numbers are on the side. There's a 0 and a 10, a 20 and a 30, so make sure you're counting carefully and properly. And you are going to put these answers into Google Classroom. Then you're going to do number 2, and you're going to look at the picture and estimate, give me a smart guess, the temperature for each picture, okay? What temperature do you think these pictures are? So this one is the winter air. For this one, what do you think the temperature is of what is inside this bowl? And this one over here, what do you think the temperature of this water is? They're in a hot tub. Now, you're going to put the temperatures from highest down to the lowest. Remember, minus means it's below 0. So it's very low. It's 44 underneath 0, okay? You're going to come over to number 4, and you know what? Number 4 is cool because it takes the whole bar graphing thing that we just learned about, and it uses temperatures. So you're going to answer these questions, except I'm not going to make you do F. You don't need to write your own question today. So just do 4A down to E, using the graph to help you answer. Then you're going to skip number 5, go to number 6, and choose the temperature of the 2 that's more likely. So it's snowing outside. Is it probably -8 degrees Celsius or 20 degrees Celsius? Okay, take a look at these ones. That's what you got to work on today. Put them into Google Classroom. See you later, guys.